Hello there. My name is Paul Roukchan. I'm the National Sales Manager for Gravity Credit Management. And next to me is Andrew Kingstone, who is the Managing Director of Gravity Credit Management. We thought we'd get together today and do this short little video for you about Andrew.
Yeah, look, we just wanted to get some clear points on the table today just around important issues to consider when you're looking at using an agency or an external debt collector. You know, it's often a big ask for some clients to give away that little bit of control or that collection process that they have so firmly entrenched in-house, but sometimes it's necessary. I guess the first point is, you know, the terms of trade, which, you know, you discuss a lot with clients or potential clients out there. Paul, what's important here?
Well, the most important thing is that a client has terms of trade to begin with.
Yep.
That's very important for any business to have, whether it's on their website or on their contracts. But the key thing when it comes to the debt collection is that those terms of trade or terms and conditions, whichever way you want to call them, allow for debt collection fees to be passed on to a bad debtor. So that way the client is not liable themselves for external debt collection fees. So that is the key, sort of the key importance around having that covered in the terms of trade.
Yeah, I guess obviously a lawyer or your advisor would go over that and fine tune it, but it's pretty important to have in there.
It is one thing I just want to add, sorry, Andrew, before you go on, is that a lot of companies that I do deal with may have terms of trade, but do not have debt collection clauses in there. So it is important, even if you do have terms of trade, just to go over them to ensure that the debt collection side of it is definitely allowed for.
Yeah, I guess on the back of that, it's also interest charges and those sorts of things.
Correct.
Need to be provided for. Okay. Other things to consider in there would be the size of the debt, arguably.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, how long is a piece of string? You could have a debt that is $50. You could have a debt that is $50,000.
Yeah.
And you need to prioritize the debt that is outstanding by the size of the debt, by the quantum of it, because that will have the greater impact on your business. So it's ensure that you put all of your focus into the debt that is the highest.
Yeah. Largely on the back of that, the period of time or the length of time outstanding also governs collectability, I guess.
That's right. I mean, look, companies have got different payment policies, right? So a lot of companies will pay at the end of the month or the 20th of the following month. So expecting it to be paid before then is not always, you know, the most reasonable prospect because, you know, companies are strange beasts and different companies operate in different ways. However, once it's past that 30 days outstanding and then gets into 60 days, that is when you should really start getting concerned and making plans and sending the reminders to say that if it hits 90 days, it will be referred to an external collection agency.
Right, okay. And on the back of that, you know, thinking about it, while you want to give a debt to an agency, you've also got that ongoing relationship with the debtor. Particularly important if they've been a long-term client or...
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, it's sort of a little bit of all of the above to consider as part of that. But probably the hardest thing, it is a tricky question because, as you know, Andrew, we've got a number of customers that deal with really large organizations.
Yeah.
That is an ongoing business that the client has. And they might have one single debt that is, say, 50 grand and is outstanding for the last 2 months. But despite it being outstanding for the last 2 months or 3 months, they're getting $200,000 to $300,000 a month of additional business from that client going forward. So it's not always, you know, it's not always the best thing to do is to sort of, you know, shake the apple cart too hardly. You really want to be able to have a conversation with your client at that point and find out why has this debt not yet been repaid, because they could have a very, very reasonable response. It could be something as simple as an issue with the job, the right people haven't signed it off. It could be just stuck in administrative hell. So don't take those actions too quickly until you know exactly what the situation is.
Right. Yeah, and I guess you know, it's about working the client or your client softly in some cases.
Yeah.
And if you've got ongoing work with those sort of quantums, then you'd have to question why the thing has been outstanding as long as it does.
That's right.
I guess that brings us on to The other thing that a lot of clients are concerned about, particularly if you're in the finance space or you're in, I don't know, electricity supply or telecommunications or something like that, that debtors or clients are very concerned with reputational damage.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts around that?
Well, as you would know from our existing larger corporations in the sectors that you have mentioned, reputational damage is probably top of the list of considerations that they have before referring debt and also before selecting their credit management / debt collection partner. Right. And the key around that is it really comes down to the approach. How will, if a news story was to come out about a credit management company, a debt collection agency chasing someone for their debt, how damaging would it be to the client, right? Now, it all really comes down to approach, and that's why all these big organizations take such care in picking the right debt collection partner, because they want to make sure that the way the credit management partner collects the debt is all within the legal spectrum and is done the way it should be within the company's ethos and their own ethics. So they want to make sure that their credit management partner will chase the debt exactly the same way that they would expect to, without any reputational damage.
I guess on the back of that, your debtor or the client's debtor is largely our debtor, and
correct.
We treat them as merely an extension of their own in-house rules or terms and I guess ethos, as you say.
I mean, threats and penalties only get you so far, and that's the biggest problem that I think the debt collection industry as a whole has had for a very long time. There's sort of a lot of companies treat it as a one-way approach, where we choose to build a relationship with our debtors. We choose to treat them like human beings. We don't treat them like they're criminals.
No, that's right.
And that's how
it works. Yeah, I mean, I guess the important thing on the back of that is the consideration of the circumstances. Look at the bigger picture. And typically when we get a debt referral, we may have them already with us with another client, so we can see their bigger picture, their personal circumstances, and manage the situation with them.
Yeah.
Hey, look, that's been great. I mean, there's obviously a raft of other things that need to be considered, but it's high level if you're looking to refer something to an agency, whether it be ourselves or another agency. These things are these hot, if not the only things to be considered before you even kick the process off. So look, thanks, Paul.
No worries. Thank you, Andrew.
Enjoy that wet weather out there, and we'll chat again soon.
Yeah, I'll go have a shower.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers, Andrew. Bye.